Kingdom of Kings and Queens. I am the poet who didn't know it.
I'm Young King.
And I miss me.
This week, we want to talk to y'all about things, we all say that if I had the ability to go back and redo some of the things that I've done in my life, what would I do? Where would I go? And it's a question that if you off muscle, just first you get 5 minutes to answer it, you're gonna say something quick. You know what I mean? Some things in your life, your personal life right now that you want eradicated. That's what you're gonna say.
Right.
But if you sit back and you think on it, give some thought as to what different levels you would like to be exposed to. How many truths you want to have.
I'm ready to
So
dive into it.
I wrote a piece,
Okay.
and the piece is entitled, "Who Do You Think You Are?"
Come on with it.
Say, bruh, why you always gotta be so square? Walking around here with your nose in the air. You move, I move, just like that. But I let you handle the other folks because I'm the fool. You see, we let each other know what we want each other to know. But when talking to me, release your representative at the gate and demonstrate your intentions. Who do you think you are? Brother, I reside inside you, so I hear you before your lips part. Understand, I feel your energy and will match you blow for blow if you ever fuck over one of mine. Yeah, you got the right one with the correct verbiage and tone, but you don't want me to introduce you to Junior. So let me plug up the silence with my fellow brother man. Who do you think you are? Human folk, lend me your ear while I tell you a tale of a time when your word was your bond and your neighbor was extended family. Your punishment was to be kept in the home, off the phone, off the bed during the day. And you better be thinking of a way to make a way. Many strayed, a few stayed true to the cause, which is uplifting us all. Division tactics run rapid each time the power button is pressed. CNN, NBC, ABC, 1, 2, 3, are you people following me? I'm just a little old southern boy trying to tell you who I am. You dig?
You done?
Yeah.
Strong J.
So, that question I asked at a dinner party I'm having next weekend for my 25th wedding anniversary. Yay, us.
Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
Congratulations.
Big ups. Yeah. And I posed the question for the topic of discussion for dinner to be, if you had the ability to go back at any point in man-known time, 3 times, where would you go and why?
You want to bleed off?
Let's let our queen come on in.
Okay.
She's been quiet on us lately, so let's give her the floor.
I don't have 3 times that I want to go back. I really thought about this question all week, and at first I had a whole bunch of places I wanted to go, things I want to see, some things I might want to change. But at the end of the day, none of that stuff would have changed who I am today. So I would go back to the moment where in my life where it made a big difference on how I started going down the wrong path, and I would correct myself. So I would go back to when I was 17, when I started dating and mingling with boys, having relationships, and I would just mentor myself into being a woman instead of being a childish girl after attention. I would tell myself that I don't have to be right all the time, that I don't have to rule over a man. It's okay for a man to love me, and it's okay for me to love a man. It's okay for me to understand and learn his love language, just as well learn my own love language. It's okay not to follow my friends and what they're doing in their relationships. My relationship don't have to match their relationship.
Right.
I would tell myself that, my man has needs, and not just satisfy me. It's not just to come home and wash dishes, cook, clean, rub my feet. That's not his needs.
So that's why you can't come up with 3 times, because you doing everything in 1 time.
Well, I would just go back to what I was saying and just mentor myself throughout.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
You covered everything in
Because
1 time.
that's when that was a pivoting moment. I didn't date before then, so I didn't, I just went by what my mama said, and when I started dating, just started messing up. Trying to rule the world, trying to rule a man or a boy at that time, and that wasn't my job.
Right.
So I learned a lot.
Wow. So we're going back to 17.
Yeah.
And most people are going to do that. We had those discussions. Boy, if I knew what I knew now back
Yes,
then.
sir. Boy, if I knew then what I know now.
You always have those discussions.
If was a 5th, boy, look at
We'll
here.
all be,
Oh, man. Oh, 7.
but when you pose a question, I just thought on another level as far as, I know a lot of people like, I know we about to go to Africa with this one, and yeah, you're right. But as far as 3 times I can go back in a period of time and change some things or change something, and why? The first one for me would be like going back to the first African or indigenous person here, because we are Indians, unbeknownst to most. But go back to that first encounter with our counterparts. And not saying that our society had it right, but we had to be going in a positive direction, because we raise our youth with basically with the TV, and the TV will let our youth and adults that don't know feel like our time period began with slavery, and we are architects, we toilets, plumbing, you
Right.
name it, we did that.
Electricity,
And it ain't no
transportation.
mumbo jumbo. But that first encounter with our white counterparts is, to me, like one of the most pivotal points in our society. So my stuff wouldn't be geared more towards me, but more towards our race. And the second time would be just so happened that didn't work. Just going back to the period in time when integration was,
No, this your second time?
this is the second time.
Okay.
The second time would be like going back to stop like integration, because you have everybody nowadays. Right now, the thing is, you buy black.
Yeah.
From your mainstream stuff, like Kwame Brown say, right now you can't pay a white person to say something crazy
Right.
about a black person. And they got some type of quote unquote clout on TV or whatever. Some little random whomever might do something like that,
Yeah.
but for the most part you're not gonna get that. But that's another pivotal point throughout our society where people really don't understand that stuff played a major toll into what we get right now via, what is it, PTSD. People get help for that. We never have. Some people want to say it's an excuse, but everybody don't process it, don't process the same.
Right.
So the same way you process pain, I may feel like it's nothing. And It's just quick little things I'm gonna hit over for myself, and then maybe one day we can go in depth.
Well, you got one more time.
I know, but I'm getting off mine. You don't did a
Oh.
skit up here.
Oh.
Don't
But
rush
you
me.
knock
Don't
yours
rush
off.
me.
No, I ain't rushing. You gonna say
Oh,
you
I'm
got
on
one
it.
more time to
I
go.
know. I'm on it, player.
Oh,
I'm
my
on it.
bad.
Let me hold your shade.
Uh-uh.
But anyway, my third time would be the inception or creation of love,
Oh yeah.
because there are too many different definitions of what love is, and I know it's all predicated on how you were raised and what you had ingrained in you. But I just feel like if we could get that one definition of clear cut love, which to me is simply just treating someone the way you want to be treated. But just get that, be that I guess put my stamp on what I would feel like love would be, and that's just to care for somebody and have that person care for you, and first and foremost respect that person. You always lead with respect, but I think in a lot of cases with any type of relationship, that's where you have misunderstanding and people dying, people getting hurt physically, mentally, and whatnot because you're not leading with respect. And I'm big on that. Yeah, you can tell me anything, but the way you give it to me gonna determine how I'm gonna react to it. So
Right.
that's pretty much my three in a nutshell, and I hope that sparked your mind to,
Yeah.
come along with me on some of what I'm talking about.
See what the caveat to your to round it up. You see, we let each other know what we want each other to know.
Check.
But when talking to me, release your representative
Check.
at the gate
Already.
and demonstrate your intentions.
That right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if
You're
okay,
proud of your boy, ain't you?
yes, I am.
It's pretty
I
good.
am.
You did a good job.
I would go back to a time in my life where I thought my station meant the level of my success.
Come on with it, cuz.
I would go back to that moment and let myself know that love is blind. And no matter what you do, take care of you.
Already. Can't love nobody if you don't love yourself.
Right.
Right.
You can't expect nobody else to love you.
Exactly. Because don't nobody know how to love somebody that don't love yourself.
Right.
And
Always gonna be a problem.
how can you love somebody if you don't love yourself? You grasp whatever, like you say, the material things that, okay, we're going to gravitate to that. That's what love is to me.
Stuff.
You know what I mean? Yeah, stuff. But to somebody else, love is sitting on the back porch with a thunderstorm just watching the rain.
Yeah, with something cold to drink.
Me watching
Exactly.
you walk through the house in your robe, like
You know?
just the way you look when you
Right.
float through the, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Give me hey.
There's the eyes somewhere.
Hey. Don't strut through here no more now. Don't come straight through here no more now. Yeah.
I forgot a straw.
Yeah. I got it. I got it.
The simplest of things.
It is. It's the simplest of things, but that's one place that I would go back to. Then I would go back to the first point that I fed the energy into being colonized. I would go back to ensure that I stay plugged in to that greater power of mine. Don't disconnect from nothing. We came here perfect beings. Every day we wake up, we are perfect beings. When we step outside our home, we plug our energy into different aspects of life, depending upon the level of your job. You know what I mean? Your interaction with others. I don't
Were
care.
you raised colonized with a colonized mind, or that's something you got developed on your own when you was an adult?
We
pretty much
all are
Well, I
colonized.
mean, you said you go back to that moment where
Yeah,
you.
to that moment.
So I was asking. I guess what age would you go back to?
I would have to go all the way back to like 3, 4. You know,
Okay. Mhm.
I would have to go all the way back to those moments to where my knowledge of isn't.
But that's the
No,
thing, though.
you know
at,
what I mean?
at that point where you're most susceptible to learn,
Right, to
and
input,
grasp things.
because-
But now the thing is, what I'm
Learn
going
from your
there with is
environment.
the environment you're around is continuing the colonization. So it's hard.
That's what I'm saying.
So it'll be
And
hard unless you went back as a 2, 3-year-old.
That's what I'm
you know
saying.
now.
I'm going back what I know now to tell myself.
Oh yeah, you're
at
bad.
that
Yeah,
point.
you're bad.
Tell
Yeah,
your
you're bad.
parents.
I'm
Well,
telling
just
myself.
to reroute himself through life.
I'm telling myself.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a-
not
that's a
telling
good-
you. I'm
that's a
talking-
good one
I'm
now.
telling myself.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Now I can't. Yeah, that's a darn good one. Now,
Yeah, it is.
And
boy, that got done. You don't even know you can call that 5 point. I don't know what kind of number you put on that.
and the last place that I would go is to the first time that man came to be.
Shit.
From the last,
You basically saying you
from
gonna
the
see
last,
the creator.
yeah, that's what, from the last formation
Gonna
of the
see
pinky
creator.
toe. You know what I mean? Or to the
Yeah.
first blow. I'm right there.
Mhm.
And
That's dope.
I'm gonna have a conversation with the grand architect of the universe.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna know what is love. I'm gonna know why is it that we have to have all of these many different nationalities and races. Why can't we all just be one being?
But all that is man made though, so that ain't
That's what, but man can't do nothing without the grand architect's movement. You dig what I'm saying? He gives us free thought.
Right.
However, we have, like you said in another other episode, everybody has an innate known right and wrong. You get a certain feeling when you do certain things.
man.
You know what I mean? Whether it's an adrenaline rush from doing something sneaky or,
Mhm.
you know, you pissed off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going all the way back to that moment, and I'm asking all of these questions.
Okay. That'd be a
For the
deep
book,
conversation.
they just gonna give you the apple to bite, and then you'll know everything.
True.
So you
That's
gonna
what
ask,
you gonna do?
you gonna ask for the forbidden fruit.
No, if I ain't got but one question to ask,
If you say, "Well, bite this apple," and you'll know it, you gonna bite it?
I'm a chew dog.
We'll be right back in the same
Look,
spot.
the core and all.
Well, no, I ain't saying the devil. I'm just saying the Almighty. Like
No, I'm talking to the Almighty, not
He's
the
saying,
devil.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
explaining to her because she was saying gonna be all we gonna start over.
No,
Okay.
no.
But it's talking to
I'm gonna have knowledge of all of that. Why? You know what I mean?
Okay. That's too much information to know. I think I'll be okay without knowing all that.
Oh man, I wanna know. I wanna know. What better way to know than to know? Again, it's
So what would you
the
do with that
truth.
information?
What you mean? What would I do with it? I would
What would you-
share it.
Okay, but
I would share it, but then that's where the funny part come in at, because then I'd be that guy. Oh,
Everybody-
on that quack
there
line.
you go. He's standing on the corner holding the microphone again.
You know they say they put so many drink back,
Yeah.
back when he went to the party.
He put
the best of us for life.
You been
and,
boy smart too.
and I'm sitting out there dropping knowledge. I'm dropping straight gems.
Yeah, you gonna be crazy because I get
In the
that now.
Right. I'm dropping straight gems.
Anytime you go off grid, when you unplug from the matrix, boy, you know.
Yeah, you
look
meet a
at-
lot of resistance when you unplug from the matrix.
Mhm.
You do. You meet a lot of resistance, and
Family, friends.
exactly, and different energies. I mean, it's just, yeah, you go through a lot.
But that's some real stuff for people really. I'm not into it too deep. Well, I'm burning sage and anything, but I do believe in learning about us, not dwelling on dates and fussing on whether we Moors or this, that, and the third, but having an understanding that we come from a great people. Now all of us don't come from kings and queens and things of that nature. Some of us are indigenous right here in these lands here, but you know we are ostracized and crack on each other for not knowing white folk history, but they ain't making their kids learn our stuff, and neither. And the sad part about it, neither are we.
Exactly.
We'll be looking at us like, you don't know who the 23rd president? No, some white dude. It didn't give a damn about me or mine. You feel me? That's why do I give a damn about who that was? You feel me?
Right. Yeah.
You talking about all these people that at the end of the day, they were influential in keeping you where we at right now, but that's a story for another episode.
But that right there is, again, I'm going to get to witness all of that. In my time that I'm going back with the grand architect, the moment that he brings life to earth, I'm gonna be there. So I'm gonna see if it was just Adam. I'm gonna see if it was Eve. I'm gonna see if it was 1,000, a million, a zillion of Adams and Eves. I'm gonna get to see that.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah. I think that's something we would all like to do.
Ask him why he made the devil. Him.
Because you got the Chinese proverb, the yin and the yang. You gotta have that balance in anything. You can tell sometimes, like you can go sometimes places and you feel that the energy is off.
Yeah, let me get out.
This don't feel right now. You know what I mean? You know, the vibe is off up in here. You can feel that. That's that yin and that yang. That's why in most relationships, you got a outspoken one and you got a reserved one. Very seldom do you get reserved and reserved, or a outspoken and outspoken, because both of them gonna try and not speak each other.
Right. Or the other one, I know a couple, they're both outspoken, and he usually take a back seat to her, and he just come to work and talk all of us to death.
Yeah.
I go to sleep on mine. I can't do it, but I've seen them both interact, and their kid don't say anything. Their kid just sit there and just
mellow out.
Yeah, and them
because
two are.
You think that's because that we're going back to that environment thing.
You know he can't say nothing.
There you go. So they're you think they're raising a submissive?
I think so, because his dad is submissive.
But that's the thing though, getting off on a whole nother thing, but if a dude nowadays stands up for himself, says anything that proves a female to be wrong, he's toxic. Like that's the vibe right now. So you not to say you can't, because you can, but just miss all the red tape and explaining why you said it and explaining why what you said mean when it's self-explanatory what you mean. You got to go in all these is a lot right now. Like the thing with the Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels.
Like they trying to bully him off of social media because
I don't think it's bullying, but
I thought the girl said something about get the who on him.
I don't know, but I partially agree. I don't know if y'all familiar with the whole situation that's going with Kevin Samuels. Are you familiar with him? Okay, so Kevin Samuels is this guy that dresses up in a suit and shades and be talking on his little podcast about he do be talking on his podcast about he's trying to enlighten men. I agree that as women we have certain expectations of men. That's some of us, not all women. Don't come after me. I'm just saying, some women have unrealistic expectations of
I'm with you.
and of relationships
because
and what a man's supposed to do.
Yeah, they got that little list. They make this list, and he got to have
all these things, and she don't have to have none of that.
Exactly. So you ain't got to have none of that, but he got all of it for you.
Right. So Kevin just points out the fact that
Chick Railroad Rock Bell.
on one of his episodes, just point out the
People
fact
toss them in
that
the air and kick them
Oh,
off.
man, what you talking about?
Funny.
boy?
not every woman can have a list. That you're not in a category to say you want a man making six figure, you want him to be 6 foot, you want him to look a certain
I mean,
way,
you
have
can.
muscles.
You
I mean,
can.
you want that, but you can't.
No, I'm saying you can
and
build your
this-
list, but you gonna have forever that list there.
Right. He's saying you're not gonna get it. He'll look at a woman that's already
Yeah.
over 35, I think it is. If you've already got kids, close your legs. Go home, sit down somewhere you know good to nobody. That's his philosophy.
They say he rough. I never listened to
real
him.
Oh, that's the dude. That's
Yeah.
the dude
What
that
it's all
told the
about.
girl. He said how tall and how much you weigh. She said she
Yeah.
was like 5'7", 5'8", 245, 235,
They
something
try
like
to call
that.
himself thick or something.
Yeah, he told us. So you trying to tell me you built like an NFL running back?
Getting on the field.
You feel like an NFL running back, and you got a list of you want this and that.
That's him. He speaks some truth, but
I
he
just think it's
Bruh,
yeah.
that was so
Okay.
funny to me, man. Hey, bro, I hope everything work out for you, man. It didn't.
No, I don't know. They got a petition up. They
They
want
trying
everybody
to
to
get, they
sign.
trying to kick him, get him kicked off.
Yeah, one
Hey,
day on
man,
his social
hey,
media.
I hope it work out for you, brother,
But
man.
I
I like you.
One
bro.
thing I like to
Keep
say
doing your
is
thing, bro.
men truly love unconditionally, and women have conditions to their love.
True.
And that goes both ways. It's not all, but I feel like it's the majority.
Right.
And I feel like it's the majority of men, even though y'all like to classify us all as dogs. But I think it's a good bit of guys out here that really want to be with that somebody, but due to the fact, and then, you know, again, we're the only race of people that have a woman say they don't need them. And on top of everybody else treating us like we're not wanted or needed, you come home to that same type of energy. So you just, your guard always up. You know, some like to say, you know, females have gone through more. But one thing I need our black community, men and women, to do is stop saying who went through more or had it worse. We both went through hell. They come together together. Don't
Exactly.
end no wound.
Right.
Even some of the ones we
Right.
inflicted on each other.
You brought up a point.
Especially
right
with
there, cuz.
words.
You brought up
Yeah.
a point right there. That's one of them divisionary tactics
Oh yeah,
that is in place.
that's the grand one.
And we are continuing to subscribe to it. We have a lot of women movements going, and I applaud anybody that is trying to do anything to better themselves. I applaud you, and if I in my
Pro-woman to
ability, I
Yeah,
will
but when it's
assist.
Destroying your family. though.
Exactly, you got
You gotta
all
leave
these.
that
But
Ain't
when we talk about
nobody.
the
What I'm saying.
toxicity
No, what I'm saying
going
is
that way though.
there is no one trying to reach that young
to do
brother.
this.
To reach that young brother.
That's right.
That
That
young
what
boy.
women be talking about.
And it goes to what you were saying. These single moms are raising men that they
Right.
wouldn't date.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiling our boys. My
Right.
two boys spoiled to death, and
But-
I don't want my husband to be my boys because I do everything for them, but that's my fault. I did that. And
Raise
my
them
girls
that
are
way,
very
though.
independent. Right.
We raise the girls to be independent, but raise our boys to be dependent, and then look at a decent, not a perfect, dad or
I
guy in
say
the kids' life.
raise them
You-
both the same.
Well, that's what I say. Cause people always say, if you had a daughter, you'll treat her differently.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
I guarantee you, I would.
Now, I will admit, you know what I'm saying, I got a baby. I got 2 babies. I will admit when it comes to discipline, I mean, it had to be something real serious for me to
I'm like that with
discipline
AJ.
them. You know what I
Even
mean?
though, you know, he doesn't have a sibling, but I'm like that with him. Like, it's certain things like I don't just, you know.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, with
But
them,
I feel like if I had a little
with
girl,
them,
I'm gonna
there
give
were-
her,
I
I'm gonna give
have
her
to
the
be-
business too.
Yeah, I have to be completely transparent. If there were instances in which my son would do something that they did, and you know what I mean, they'd get like 2 or 3 little licks or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Finna skin you,
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. He got dressed up. Yeah. He got brown light. You know what I'm saying?
I will say all my kids got the same punishment. They did, but
But
you know they still, and they all got waited on. They all spoiled. But The
Yeah,
boys
all
are
my
worse
kids are
than
spoiled
the
too.
girls.
They are. Actually, they don't sit, but my knee baby is the one that spoiled the most.
Mm.
That's my baby. That's my little baby.
Well, it's okay.
Well,
I think we hit on a few things.
Yeah.
And I guess see what y'all think about some of the things we were saying, and drop some comments. Let us know if y'all want us to hit one of those topics and go in depth on it from our three perspectives. But I think we pretty much accomplished what you sought out.
cool.
Yeah. Also, tell us what what three places or times you would go back and change, what things you would change, or will you want to see or witness for yourself?
Yeah. I can dig it. So, in order for me to take us out, I got to take us out like I brought us in. So I wrote another piece
Come
called
on with it.
Be Right Back.
Okay.
Why is it when you have a transgression against a loved one, you attempt to cover the hole in their world with material or flashy things, instead of plugging the hole you created in your bond?
That's a good topic.
Feeding each other's soul, for it is tender to touch. Oh, how I love the feel of you. Let me stay on track this time. I'm not taking them back. I'm loving me and living to the fullest. Hit this. Damn right I want to pull it. And let all the bull crap go. Drama don't live here no more. Sweet as a purple muscadine, firm as a Georgia peach. Y'all stay tuned. I'll be right back, you dig? Hey, we're gonna holler at you next week.